Part 1. The Exiled Princess. Daenerys Targaryen was born during a terrible storm on Dragonstone. She was the last daughter of the Mad King, Daenerys Targaryen. Her family lost the war, and she had to run away to a continent called Essos. She lived in exile with her older brother, Viserys. Viserys was a cruel man who wanted to take back the Iron Throne. He believed he was the rightful king of the Seven Kingdoms. However, he had no army and no money. To get an army, Viserys decided to sell his sister in marriage. He arranged for Daenerys to marry Khal Drogo. Khal Drogo was a powerful leader of the Dothraki people. The Dothraki were fierce warriors who rode horses. Daenerys was terrified of Drogo because he did not speak her language. At her wedding, she received a very special gift. A rich merchant named Illyrio gave her 3 dragon eggs. The eggs were old and had turned to stone, but they were beautiful. Daenerys felt a strange connection to the eggs. After the wedding, Daenerys traveled with the Dothraki tribe. At first, her life was very hard and painful. But slowly, she learned the Dothraki language and culture. She stopped being afraid and started to become strong. She stood up to her brother Viserys for the first time. She also fell in love with her husband, Khal Drogo. They became a powerful couple, and Daenerys became pregnant. Viserys became jealous of her power and popularity. One night, Viserys threatened to kill Daenerys and her unborn baby. Khal Drogo killed Viserys by pouring melted gold on his head. Daenerys watched him die and said, "He was no dragon. Fire cannot kill a dragon." Part 2. The Mother of Dragons. Later, Khal Drogo was wounded in a fight with one of his men. The wound was small, but it got infected. Drogo became very sick and fell off his horse. Daenerys asked a witch named Mirri Mos Dúr to save him. The witch used dark blood magic. The magic saved Drogo's body, but it killed his mind. It also caused Daenerys to lose her baby. The witch told Daenerys she did this to get revenge for her village. Daenerys knew her husband was gone forever. She suffocated him with a pillow to end his suffering. Most of the Dothraki left her because a woman could not lead them. Only a small group of loyal people stayed with her. Daenerys built a large funeral fire for Drogo. She tied the witch to the fire. She placed the 3 stone dragon eggs next to Drogo's body. Then, she walked into the fire herself. Everyone thought she would die. But the next morning, the fire was gone. Daenerys was sitting in the ashes, completely unhurt. She had 3 baby dragons with her. She named them Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. It was a miracle, and her people bowed to her. She was now the mother of dragons. Part 3. The Red Waste and Qarth. Daenerys led her small group across a dangerous desert called the Red Waste. They had no water and very little food. It was a very difficult journey, and some people died. Finally, they arrived at a great city called Qarth. The leaders of Qarth did not want to let her in. A man named Xaro Khone Daxus vouched for her. Daenerys wanted ships to sail to Westeros. However, the people of Qarth only wanted her dragons. Her dragons were stolen by evil warlocks. Daenerys went to the House of the Undying to find them. She saw strange magic and visions of the future. She found her dragons chained up. The warlocks tried to trap her forever. She gave the command, Dracarys, which means dragonfire. The little dragons breathed fire and burned the warlocks. Daenerys escaped and found out that Xaro had betrayed her. She locked Xaro in his empty vault and took his gold. She bought a ship and left the city. Part 4. Breaker of Chains. Daenerys sailed to Slaver's Bay. She wanted to buy an army of soldiers called the Unsullied. The Unsullied were slave soldiers trained in the city of Astapor. The masters of Astapor were cruel and evil men. One master insulted Daenerys in his language, thinking she did not understand. But Daenerys spoke High Valyrian perfectly. She offered to trade her biggest dragon, Drogon, for all the soldiers. The master agreed and gave her the whip to control the army. Once she had the army, she ordered them to kill the masters. She ordered Drogon to burn the cruel master. She told the Unsullied they were free. They could leave or they could fight for her as free men. They tapped their spears on the ground to show their loyalty. Daenerys continued to the city of Yunkai. There, she met a mercenary named Daario Naharis. Daario killed his own captains to join Daenerys because she was beautiful and strong. With his help, she conquered Yunkai and freed the slaves. The freed people lifted her up and called her Missa, which means mother. Part 5. Ruling Meereen. Daenerys marched to the largest city, Meereen. She freed the slaves there, but ruling the city was hard. A group of rebels called the Sons of the Harpy started killing her soldiers. They wore gold masks and attacked in the streets. Daenerys discovered that her advisor, Jorah Mormont, used to be a spy. He had sent information about her to her enemies years ago. Daenerys was heartbroken because she trusted him. She banished him from the city. Her dragons were growing very big and dangerous. Drogon killed a child, and Daenerys was horrified. She locked two of her dragons, Rhaegal and Viserion, in a dungeon. Drogon flew away and disappeared. One day, the Sons of the Harpy attacked Daenerys in a fighting arena. She was surrounded and thought she would die. Suddenly, Drogon returned to save her. He burned the enemies. Daenerys climbed onto his back and flew away. It was the first time she rode a dragon. Part 6. The Unburnt returns. Drogon took Daenerys far away to the grasslands. She was captured by a Dothraki tribe. They did not know who she was. They took her to Vaes Dothrak, the holy city of the Horse Lords. The leaders of the Dothraki gathered in a wooden temple to judge her. Daenerys told them they were small men who could not lead. She pushed over the large fire lamps. The temple caught fire instantly. The doors were locked, and the leaders burned to death. Daenerys walked out of the fire, naked and unhurt. Thousands of Dothraki saw this miracle and bowed to her. She now had a massive army of cavalry. She returned to Meereen and defeated the masters who were attacking her city. She finally had her army, her dragons, and ships from the Greyjoys. She named Tyrion Lannister as her Hand of the Queen. She sailed to Westeros to take the Iron Throne. Part 7. The Dragon Queen in Westeros. Daenerys arrived at Dragonstone, the castle where she was born. She touched the sand and felt like she was home. She planned her war against Cersei Lannister. Jon Snow, the king in the north, came to meet her. He asked for her help to fight the army of the dead in the north. Daenerys did not believe him at first. She wanted him to bend the knee, but he refused. However, she allowed him to mine dragonglass on her island. Daenerys fought a battle against the Lannister army. She rode Drogon and burned their supply wagons. It was a terrifying display of her power. Later, Jon Snow went beyond the wall to catch a zombie. He was trapped by the Night King's army. Daenerys flew her 3 dragons north to save him. She rescued the men, but the Night King threw an ice spear. He killed her dragon, Viserion. Daenerys was devastated to lose one of her children. She promised Jon she would help him fight the Night King. Jon agreed to accept her as his queen. They fell in love on the boat journey to the north. Part 8. The Long Night. Daenerys arrived at Winterfell with her armies. The people in the north did not trust her. Sansa Stark was very cold to her. Jon learned that he was actually Aegon Targaryen, Daenerys' nephew. This meant he was the true heir to the Iron Throne. Daenerys was worried that the people would choose Jon over her. The army of the dead attacked Winterfell at night. Daenerys fought bravely on Drogon. She tried to burn the Night King, but fire did not hurt him. Her loyal friend Jorah Mormont died protecting her. She cried over his body as the battle ended. The living won the war, but Daenerys felt alone. She saw how everyone loved Jon Snow. She begged Jon not to tell anyone his secret, but he told his family. She felt betrayed and isolated. Part 9. The Bells. Daenerys turned her army south to King's Landing. Her enemies killed her second dragon, Rhaegal. They also captured her best friend, Missandei. Cersei Lannister executed Missandei while Daenerys watched. Missandei's last word was, Dracarys. Daenerys was consumed by grief and rage. She felt she had no love in Westeros, only fear. She decided to use fear. She attacked King's Landing with Drogon. She destroyed the Iron Fleet and the city walls easily. The city surrendered, and the bells rang for peace. But Daenerys did not stop. She looked at the Red Keep and made a terrible choice. She flew over the city and burned everything. She killed soldiers and innocent civilians alike. Jon and Tyrion watched in horror as she destroyed the city. She had become the Queen of Ashes. Part 10. The Iron Throne. After the battle, the city was a ruin. Daenerys gave a speech to her soldiers. She said the war was not over. She wanted to conquer the whole world to liberate it. Tyrion Lannister threw down his badge and quit. Daenerys arrested him for treason. Jon Snow went to see Daenerys in the ruined throne room. She was standing in front of the Iron Throne. She looked happy, like a little girl who got her wish. She asked Jon to rule with her. She said they would build a perfect world. Jon asked her to show mercy to Tyrion, but she refused. Jon realized she would never stop killing people who disagreed with her. He told her, "You are my queen, now and always." He kissed her, and then he stabbed her in the heart. Daenerys died in his arms. Drogon flew down and saw his mother was dead. He screamed in sadness and anger. He melted the Iron Throne with his fire. Then, he picked up Daenerys gently and flew away. This was the tragic end of Daenerys Targaryen. She was a breaker of chains, but in the end, power destroyed her.